Hi, this is Dane with BestCigarPrices.com. Welcome back to another segment of Cigar 101. Today we're going to cover lighting your cigar, which is actually a somewhat more involved process than most people realize. First thing I want to cover is the different options you have for lighting your cigars. The first being matches. They're readily available, they're easy, so we don't really need to go into too much discussion with those. The next option is the traditional method for lighting a cigar, and that's actually to take thin planks of cedar, light them, and then light the cigar off that. Not a very realistic option. If you're out on the town or you're out at a golf course, you want to have a cigar, you're not exactly going to pull out your cedar planks and light them up. So we're going to focus on the two most realistic options for your lighting your cigars, which is a traditional cigarette lighter or one of the higher end butane lighters. We're going to discuss these both in a little bit of detail and help you get a better understanding as to why they work in different ways. The first thing you want to look at when comparing different kinds of lighters is the different flame that you're going to get from them. With a traditional cigarette lighter, you're going to get a nice yellow flame. It doesn't burn quite as hot as a butane lighter though. If you look at this, you get a concentrated blue flame. A huge difference between the two of them is the actual durability of the flame. Say you're outside, the wind is blowing, you're trying to get your cigar lit, and you've got this one versus the torch lighter, and a wind comes along. Torch is far more dependable in those kinds of situations, which is one of the advantages to having a torch lighter. The advantage to having a cigarette lighter, they're cheaper, they're readily available. You can get them pretty much at any store, any gas station, anything like that. These tend to be a little bit more expensive, but a benefit to these is you can actually refill these and they're far more durable. If you decide to go with the butane torch lighter and you want to refill it because it runs out, or a lot of times when you buy them they're actually empty, all you do is you buy a bottle of butane and you'll notice there's a nozzle on the top. On the bottom of your lighter, there's a little port where the nozzle goes in. You want to light it upside down. And it's a mere matter of taking it, pressing it in, and filling it up. If you look carefully, on the side here, there's a little gauge built into this window where you can actually watch the butane fill it. You don't want to overfill your lighter because that can saturate it, it's not going to light, you're going to have trouble with it. It's also a good way of gauging when you're running out of fluid so that you can pick up some more. When you're lighting your cigar, there's different approaches to it. Because this cigarette lighter doesn't burn quite as hot, you do tend to get a little bit more impurities in the actual flame. So when you're lighting a cigar with a traditional cigarette lighter, you kind of want to keep the flame farther away from the foot of the cigar and actually use your air, your lungs, to pull the flame toward the cigar, rather than the torch, which you can apply directly to the lighter because there's not as many impurities because it does burn hotter. So the next step we're going to do is go ahead and show you how to properly light the cigar. Now, one step that a lot of beginner smokers don't do when lighting their cigars is to toast the foot. The foot of the cigar is the end that you're going to light. Toasting it is a simple matter of taking your lighter and burning around the edges, just so that you can ensure that you're going to get a nice even burn all the way down. You also want to go through and you want to toast the actual exposed tobacco on the end. This is going to give you a nice even draw all the way across the board and help the cigar burn better. Once you've toasted the foot thoroughly, you just put it in your mouth, you relight it, and you just want to do about a quarter of a turn every time you take an inhalation. That way, you're making sure that it's a good even burn all the way around, and you'll be able to watch it light up red as you're smoking it. If you want to make sure that you got everything thoroughly toasted and burning evenly, you can just blow on the front of it and you'll watch the embers light up. And that's how you know you've got the right light on your cigar.